Hignet's corner, beyond Bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, clips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises! It just had to be! Dax corner and it goes, Glance towards goal! And Rovers have taken the lead! And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season. It may well be the goal that sends Rovers back into the Championship.
Good afternoon, Rovers fans, and welcome to our live pre-match stream ready for the game against Barnsley a little bit later on. We're delighted to be back after a really positive week for Rovers, where we picked up a draw away at Luton and a fantastic win against Preston in midweek. So we are, of course, looking to make that a really good week with 7 points from 9 as we entertain Barnsley today. So I'm delighted to be joined, as ever, by the panel of Rovers Chat guests. Alex Lomax, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Looking forward to the game today after that great win on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jacob Ward, how are you?
I'm ready and raring to go. Had a bit of morning glory, so looking forward to today.
Great. And we have the Hall of Famer, the legend himself, Luke Kimberley, naming lights. How are you, mate?
Yeah, great. This Hall of Fame thing comes at a cost. I've been a busy man, yeah. All sorts of signings, socially distanced pictures. I haven't got a minute, I tell you. It's great.
Getting the call to be with Joe soon.
Fully deserved, Luke. Fully deserved after that one. So you deserve all the credit you get. Rovers fans, if you are not following us on Twitter, we are Rovers_chat. And if you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, Rovers Chat, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Rovers Chat. So before we make a start, I just want to alert everyone to a special Black Friday deal that we have got with 6yardsout.com. If you buy 2 mugs, you get the third free over this weekend. So go and check them out. See what's available. There are lots of Rovers things on there, as I'm sure you are aware from our sponsorship advert now. So go and have a look. Perfect Christmas presents for the football fans in your family. You may have people supporting different teams, so you can mix and match them all and obviously buy 2 mugs and get the third free. So thanks as ever to 6yardsout.com for their kind sponsorship of our channel this season. Rovers fans, as usual, I can see the comments are already streaming in, so please do interact with us as ever. We will pick up your comments through the show, and then, it'll allow us to just really unpick this game in some detail. So where I'm going to start then is just really briefly, the three of you. Alex, I'll start with you. Just what sort of week have you had coming off the back of that Preston result? It was a great one, wasn't it?
I can't lie, I was pretty smug on Wednesday. I think after the pain they've inflicted upon us, I think you have to take the wins when they come and gloat, I suppose. It was good to see all the social media banter that surrounds a derby win, and it's been a long time coming, hasn't it? And I think other than that, this week I went back to my natural home on the 1875 podcast, so look out for that when it comes out. That'll be out in the next few days, I think, and answered some questions that a lot of the fans wanted answering. And then, I'm ready to go today, and I think it'll be a tough game today, but I think it's a game we can definitely win. But this season, we've not been able to put any decent run together, have we? So that's the challenge now.
Yeah, and Luke, Alex has mentioned it there. I'll take us right into the game now rather than just wallow and revel, actually, is the right word, in the victory against Preston. I'm looking at this, and Alex is right. It's typical Rovers. We've got a chance for 7 points from 9 this week. On paper, it's a result that we should be getting at home to Barnsley. Coming off the back of that Preston result where we're all flying high, but then I see a stat on Twitter today that Mowbray's lost the most amount of games against Barnsley. This has got a potential banana skin on it today, hasn't it, with this being the Blackburn Rovers we know and love.
So, looking at our recent form as well, it doesn't no, it doesn't settle nice. It's draw, win, draw, win. So what's coming next? Just wonder whether it's just going to be one of them that just sort of peters out. But I will give my prediction later on, and it's a bit more optimistic than that, I think. Barnsley are, like you said, they're one of them banana skin sort of sides, aren't they? Looking at the results as well, they beat Forest, beat Derby, beat Watford, beat QPR, drawn against Millwall, and then only narrowly lost to Brentford. They're a good footballing side. They were up there last year, just missed out on automatic promotion. And our results haven't been great against them as well. I'm looking since January 14, when we drew 2-2, we've only won once, and they've scored 2 goals against us in their last 6 games. So the opportunity is there, isn't it, for a banana skin to creep in? So we need to be on top form today.
And Jacob, I spoke with Andy, the Barnsley fan, yesterday on the other side, and actually I already had this opinion of Barnsley anyway. I think they're a better side than a lot of people give them credit for. They like to play football, they like to press high. They're certainly not that kind of traditional Yorkshire club that you might associate. What are we going to need to do to avoid this being a banana skin today?
I mean, if they press high and they're going to attack us, I think that'll suit us really, because that'll give us the opportunity to counter-attack, won't it? And that plays right into our hands in many ways. So I was thinking this game was going to be a game where they would sit back, just like Notts Forest and Cardiff did when they came to Ewood, and have 10 men behind the ball and 2 banks of 4. So, but if they are going to be attacking us and give us opportunities to counter and have a bit more of a back and forth game, I think that can only benefit us and probably play into our hands rather than sitting behind the ball. So it actually fills me with more confidence going into today, if anything. And we did beat them last year, didn't we, at home? But it were a harder result than you would have thought going into the game to get that win, weren't it?
Mm-hmm. And Alex, when I spoke to Andy yesterday, he seemed to suggest that when Barnsley do try and sit back and contain sides rather than their natural pressing style, he thinks that it's a bit of a square peg in a round hole and they really struggle. And I think they found out the hard way against Brentford in midweek. Does that fill you with confidence as well, that if Barnsley play their proper game and come at us, we could have some joy and get in behind? And conversely, if they do decide to sit back, we should be able to pick off a side that might not be comfortable playing that way?
Absolutely. I think I'll go along with what Jacob's just said there. I think the fact that, if Barnsley do come to Ewood and try and match us up and go for our throat, really is the right word, then I'm much more confident going into today's game. I think you can probably say that only one team has really come to Ewood this season and actually tried to go for us, and that was Wickham. And that didn't turn out too well for them, did it? So, yeah, that does fill me with confidence. I think the job for us today is to deal with the direct play. I presume they get the ball forward quite quickly. And I just hope that Lennon and Wharton can be as good in the air at those aerial duels as they have been in the last couple of games, because that's going to be crucial. We can't be giving away set pieces, letting the ball bounce over the top of the defence, letting the strikers run on. You just can't be doing that. So we've got to be really aware at the back and not give any silly goals away like we have done at times this season. When you hark back to the Reading game, we'd just come off a really good away win at Coventry and everyone was bouncing really, and then we shoot ourselves in the foot, to put it bluntly, didn't we? So we need to avoid that today if we want to pick up the 3 points.
And Luke, there's been a lot of chat on this channel about this batch of 12 games, and also if Rovers are thinking of getting into the playoffs and things like that we need to keep picking up those points with regularity. Not just the 12 games and the fact that we can make it 7 points from 9. Actually, I'm looking at the next game, Millwall at home. That's a tough game. So if we don't get a result today, we do put a bit of pressure on that Millwall game, which is where you don't want pressure. So do you think we've just got to go for Barnsley a bit today and be confident in the attacking players we've got to get that result and not worry too much about what they're going to do?
Yeah, I think as Blackburn Rovers at the moment, we've just got to not worry about the opposition. We've got the players, we've got a good talented crop of players now, and we've found a way of playing that seems to be working on the whole. Yes, you forget about some of the little slip-ups that we've had when things have gone well and you're on the back of a good result. But realistically, we're always going to look at Barnsley, with no disrespect to Barnsley whatsoever, but going down the Joe Rothwell route now against Luton, but it's a game that you would expect to win. And if we're going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, this is a game that we've got to win. And ultimately, on the back of a win against Preston, we need to build momentum, because going into the Christmas period, like you've said, there's a heavy build up of games now, and no easy game in the Championship. We get this one over the line, and then we've got Millwall next week. So very, very difficult games. And in order to get where we want to be, we've just got to keep that momentum going and get some wins under a belt.
Yeah. And Rovers fans watching in, please do let us know how you think the game's going to go. What have Rovers got to do to stop this being a banana skin? How should we approach the game? What type of players are you looking to be involved today to get the job done, in essence, like we did against QPR last time out at Ewood Park? Jacob, where are you? I'll give you the final, the final comments on this question before we move on. Where are you on the importance of this game, within this block of 12? I think you had it down as one that we should be winning and will be winning when we predicted them a couple of weeks ago. Do you still stand by that? Is it still a really important one for you?
Yeah, I had us to smash Luton and Barnsley, so hopefully I still smash Barnsley.
Draw incoming.
I do think obviously the Luton game and the manner we ended up drawing that, it obviously hasn't filled me with confidence going in today, because obviously Barnsley aren't doing that bad, but it is a sort of game that you look at the start of the season and you're at home to Barnsley and you got to say it's got to be 3 points. So I think as long as we get the midfield right, which we obviously didn't against Luton, and as long as we get the midfield right and we play anything like we did against Preston, it'll be a win today in my mind, no doubt.
Yeah, I must say I'm feeling quite confident as well, actually. I think chatting to Andy yesterday on the other side, they're either going to come for us or they're going to struggle sitting back. And I think both of those scenarios just play into Rovers' hands. And I am feeling confident, and not too confident because they're a better side than what we give credit for. But I do think it's just going to be one of them we get the job done with. So just picking up the comments before we move on then. Luke, you put the fear of God into Michael Pearson.
I know, I noticed that one.
He was optimistic before Luke's stats, hoping law of averages means we're due the win.
Sorry, Michael.
Lee B 1989. Think this is a game we can win, but still be on alert for. Barnsley screams a shot in the foot if we're not on the ball, just like last week. We need to be quick out of the traps. Yeah, I agree, Lee. It's just one we got to respect Barnsley, play our game, and I do think we'll get the job done. So, Alex, I'm going to move us on to the next topic then. Want to focus on Scott Wharton a little bit, and then we'll move the conversation on just to our defence in general. We've gone from a position of really struggling at the back, just basically fudging the best defence we could together. Now we've got Scott Wharton in there, who really is looking at Ayala and Williams and going, take my place. And we seem to have a little bit of depth with Douglas and Bell at left back and 4 centre-backs to choose from. It really is just the Joe Rankin-Costello injury that's a bit of a concern for us at right back now. But if we just start with Scott Wharton, are you expecting him to start again today? And do you agree with the notion that it's now his place to lose?
I expect him to start today. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think Ayala only returned to training late this week, so I can't really see him being in match fit to the degree that he needs to be, really. I think what we've seen, though, this season is I'm not sure that Lennon and Ayala work together. Now, that's a concern for me. I don't think Lennon or Ayala really like playing on that left-hand side. I don't think it's where they're comfortable. I don't think it's where they play their best football. And I think we've seen that with Lenihan's form this season, being shifted around the back, kind of being a bit unsure at certain points. And then obviously they were swapping over in certain games that we've already talked about. So I think there's doubts over whether you can play Lenihan and Ayala together. Having said that, obviously Williams came in and did, I thought, really well. I thought he was our best defender for a few games, and then really kind of excelled at that style of football that we've been playing, passing it out from the back. He was doing really well at that as well. But then obviously he gets injured in the Middlesbrough game and we're left effectively down to bare bones, as you say. I think the thing I've been most impressed with Scott Wharton is the way he's handled the pressure of playing for his hometown team. I think we all recognise that, or at least I'll be honest with you, at the start of this season, if someone had asked me, what's going to happen to Scott Wharton, I would have probably said he would be loaned out to League One and we'd never see him again. I think he would probably left at the end of this season. So really, it's kind of a chance that's come out of the blue for him, and he's grasped it, to be honest with you. What I really like about him, he just does the basics really well. He doesn't try and do anything that he can't do. He focuses on heading the ball well, clearing the ball when he can't make a pass, and also kicking the ball out of play when he's uncertain. How many times have we conceded goals in the Championship because the defender has tried to be too clever, too cute with it, and lost the ball in a bad area and conceded a bad goal? So, in my opinion, the more we can get to that no-frills basic defending, I think that's really good for me. I'm really happy with him. You mentioned, is it his place to lose? I would be gutted if Wharton was dropped. I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's deserved. I think if the results keep coming and we keep keeping clean sheets and we don't concede many goals, then I can't see why there would be any justification to drop him. Other than the fact that Mowbray wants to keep a big squad happy, and he's not really had that issue this season with the number of injuries and suspensions we've had. So yeah, it's certainly an interesting topic. It's not a topic that has any easy answers, but I think my opinion will be that we stick with what we've got at the minute. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And these two seem to have got a decent partnership together now. Lenhen's started to play his best football again. So yeah, let's keep with it, in my opinion.
Mm. And Luke, Alex has spoken about the basics that Scott Wharton does really well. And Andy, again, last night mentioned that this manager for Barnsley, as much as they like to play that pressing game, have been getting it forward a lot quicker. They're going to have Cauley Woodrow up top today, who is a big striker, who should be able to hold the ball up. Scott Wharton has dealt pretty well with Reese from Preston, Lyndon Dykes from QPR, and Assombalonga from Middlesbrough. So today, again, he should be able to handle Cauley Woodrow in that sense and really keep his place, shouldn't he?
Yeah, I think that's what he's shown he does very well. And I think he did that when he burst onto the scene. Is that, I know Micah Richards has said that in the past, he burst onto the scene, and Roy Keane's not happy saying that about centre-halves. But let's say he did burst onto the scene for Rovers, because I thought in his very early appearances for Rovers, he looked the part. He looked everything that he is now, an old school centre half, gets the job done, no messing, powerful, physical, just solid and reliable, really, I guess. And that's what he seems to do very well. It's good to see, because we've seen players come through the youth system that have been really talked about. Your Matty Platts, your Matty Pearsons, all that sort of level of centre half that Rovers seem to produce really well, and very few actually make it at that level. I know Phil Jones came through and those sort of people, but Darrell Lenien's a prime example as well. But Wharton kept getting loaned out, and you just thought, actually, I'd really like to see him make a success of this. And now it seems to all be coming together, and like you were saying, that is what he does very well, and he's showing it. And that's, I think, what's keeping him in this team. And like you say, it's his place to lose, and I hope he really, really hope he doesn't lose it.
Yeah, and there's certainly some good comments in support of Scott Wharton here. Alexander Haben, he's doing a solid job, Wharton. He deserves to keep his place. Chris Hayes, I'd keep Wharton until he makes droppable mistakes. Dan Woods, Wharton is a keeper for the moment. I like him. He just needs to sharpen up a little bit more. And then just another comment from Alexander Haben just previously. I think Ayala is good enough to play left centre back, so that one's going to be up for debate, I think, when Ayala is back. Jacob, I think the thing that I like about Wharton and Lenihan is they just look like a good partnership. And I think about, again, sides that have been promoted, and you've always got a good, solid centre back pairing that's no disrespect to Derek Williams, who I think has done a good job as a centre-back, but he is a left-back converted into a centre-back rather than an out-and-out centre-back like Wharton and Lenihan are. Fully fit and in form, which two centre-backs are you picking?
I got to disagree with the Derek Williams thing, because I know when we bought him from Bristol, weren't it, he was a centre-back, and I think he was more converted to a left-back because we didn't have anyone that season under Kyle. So I think it is the other way around with that. But I think, obviously, if it works, it would have to be Ayala Lenihan. I think the only times we've seen Ayala Lenihan, I think it was twice, and I think it was Watford, and then it was the game after that, and we swapped in the two games. One of them, I think Lenihan was on the left or the right in one game, and then Ayala was on the left or the right the other game. But I think the only thing I would say is obviously they didn't work in that game, but obviously that was when Lenihan was in his very poor run of form, and whether that's down to the fact he were playing with Ayala, but then he carried that on afterwards with Williams as well. So I think it's worth another go with them two, because we know how good Ayala has been at Middlesbrough and how solid he's been. And on paper, I don't think anyone could deny that is our best centre-back partnership. I can only agree with what Alex and Luke have said, that until Wharton does something that makes him droppable, I just think it's really unfair if he does, because he has looked nothing short of solid with Lenihan, and I think it would be a smack in the face to him if Williams or Ayala gets fit and then he just gets dropped straight away, because he's worked so hard for years to get to this position, and you can tell he's playing for the shirt. So I really wouldn't drop him at this moment in time.
Mm. And Alex, I'm just going to come back to you just on the defence as a whole. Wharton's come in and really shown us now that we've got four centre-backs we can rely on. As I say, we've got Douglas and Bell. Whether you like Bell or not, Bell is a championship left-back, so we've got two left-backs that can play there. The big concern now is right-back, isn't it? And I think there's a comment here from, it was Chris Hayes, I think it was. Yeah, sorry. I think the injury to Joe Rankin-Costello is a huge blow. Nyambe often struggles with maintaining fitness, and we really have no other options. That is just the only blot on the copybook at the moment, isn't it? That we haven't got Elliot Bennett who could fill in there, for example. Have you got any other ideas what we would do if Nyambe pulled his hamstring, for example?
This is the really interesting question. I think it's the real concern at the minute. Because not only is obviously Rankin-Costello out now for a good 2 months with a bad hamstring injury, Nyambe will not stay fit for this run of intense games every Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. He's never done it since he's been at the club. So why do we presume he'll do it now? And the question, like you say, is who the hell fits in when he's not here? I've thought long and hard about this. Our emergency right backs are Bennett and Travis. They're both out as well. So I'm really kind of scratching round. It's a really hard question. I mean, I don't know if Joe Rothwell has played. I think Joe Rothwell might have played at left back. I'm getting confused now. Stuart Downing, maybe, just to stick him in there. I don't know. But I think that just shows you how stretched we are in that position. And then maybe, just maybe, the solution will be to scratch around in the 23s and see if we can find somebody in there. I think that would be probably the more preferable option. I would rather have someone playing in their natural position rather than like Dan Pike, for example, as Liam's just said there. I'd rather have someone like that come in than maybe crowbar somebody in who isn't their natural position as such. So yeah, let's just cross that bridge when we come to it. I think it's something that it's certainly useful to think about, because obviously, Ryan could break down today at any time. My question would be, what's the bench going to look like today? Because if Nyambe, breaks down today, then who fills in? I'd half expect in a cynical fashion for Pers to be subbed on and Kaminsky to go to right back, because he's that ridiculously crazy. So, that Mowbray's done stranger things before, like put Smallwood in net. So there you go.
Rovers fans, do let us know, who would you be playing at right back if Nyambe was to also get an injury? Let us know, because we are scratching around trying our best. Luke, I've mentioned on this stream a few times that for me, the injuries for Rovers this season, all teams are going to have injuries and all teams are going to have quantity of injuries. The thing that's really annoyed me this season is just who's been injured. Like, it's the fact that it's Dak and it's Travis. And then Armstrong tweaked his hamstring, when Dak and Travis are out. Things like that. So it's the who's been injured. We are absolutely hoping and praying now, aren't we, that Nyambe just gets to the new year and he's just got that solid record, haven't we? We've just got to hope and pray, really.
Now that Rankin Costello's out, absolutely, yeah. Like you say, we're very depleted in that area. When you talk about Blackburn now, so much strength in depth. I think it might have been in the group chat the other day. I think it was Joe, actually, just a little list of players that can play in each position, and phenomenal, really, that we can stay with the same formation and bring so many quality players into each position. Right back's not that position, really, is it? You touched upon Alex then Downing, and Downing for me would be a shoe-in to slot in at right back. Just looking at players like James Milner.
Yeah,
players that can just get on the ball and they're calm. They got experience. I think Downing's that sort of player. He's played about at a high level as well. International player, and I think at this level, just a bit of a calmness there. If we were, because it would be frantic if we lost Nyambe. So it's just to get a calm head in there and bring everyone back down a little bit and just steady ship for a short while if needed. But fingers crossed it don't come to that. Like you say, cross that bridge when it comes. But, we've not been lucky, have we? So
no.
it might well come.
And Jacob, I'll just pick up the comments before coming to you for the final word on this. So we got Liam Scott, Dan Pike call up, Lachlan, Kearney, back three, and maybe a Downing can drop in right wing back. Big chance for an under 23 can step up. Ollie James. Oh, the comment shifted. Ollie James, isn't Trav due back in the next few weeks to play there? I think Trav might be a little bit longer off Ollie. I'm not expecting to see him till January. Yeah. Chris Hayes, Dan Pike would be the best option, or Hayden Carter. Michael Pearson, has Johnson played right back in his time with Leeds and Norwich? Springs to mind. Yeah, not sure about that one actually, Michael. Ryan Lambert, if Nyambe gets injured, then a back three with wing backs. Alexander Haven, Tribal at right back. Henry Bolton, I'd be tempted to go Douglas at right back. Bell left back. Daniel Ainsworth, Pike is a cracking under 23 talent and deserves his go. Give him a chance, he'll get used to it, like JRC, Buckley, etc. Yeah, that's a good shout, Dan. Keith Elsey, I'd play Davenport. Alexander Haven, Downing can do it. Ollie James, should we get a right back on loan? And then Dan Woods, Downing's fitness would worry me for the right back position. So Jacob, I'm going to give you the final word. There's a variety of options there. I think for me, it's either someone like Dan Pike. I think it was a really good point from Dan Ainsworth there that, just throw someone in. You never know what they're going to be able to do. We've had that with players in the past that, Dolan is a case in point. We've thrown him in and he's done a job. But the one that I really like is the Stuart Downing one, the experience. Like what Luke said, I think you can trust him to do a job. Where are you, Jacob? Are you going to go for an under 23 and throw them in? Or are you going to go for an experienced head who you can know is just going to, not panic in that position and give it his all like James Milner does for Liverpool?
I mean, I think back to the Kyle season when Nyambe got chucked in, and he didn't really show himself up by any means in that relegation season, from what I remember anyway. I tried to block that season out of memory, but I know we were playing Ben Marshall there, and then obviously when he left, we just started playing Nyambe there. So I'm not sure how good this Dan Pike is, to be fair. I don't watch a lot of under 23s at all, but he's not someone I've ever really heard of for being called up to the senior squad like maybe some of the other players in the under 23s. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Stuart Downing there by any means. I mean, I think personally, I preferred him the most last season when he was playing at left back. He never got shown up for pace. He had that really intelligent run against Brentford, didn't there? And I think that was when he was playing at left back that game, and he, like you're saying, he'll come there and he'll calm things down, and as long as he doesn't get shown up for pace again, which he never did last season, and as long as he's fit, I wouldn't have any problem in playing Stuart Downing there at all, even though he is left-footed.
And just to finish off with the comments on this then, Lee B, get Mowbray in defence. Yeah, hell yeah. Abnam Quaynor, hasn't Lenihan played at right back before? I think he has, but I need him at centre back in my side. You know, he needs to be playing at centre back, not right back. Arman American, 3 centre backs possibly. Matthew Raj, I play Downing, no choice. Gaz Israel, serious lack of pace in the full-back position if you play Downing. And Douglas, Callum Scott. No, I'm not reading that one. You nearly made me fall into the trap there. Michael Pearson, Pike, such a work rate, loves a tackle. So I'm hoping that this is actually a non-conversation, actually. So let's just hope and pray. Fingers crossed. Everyone get willing Ryan Nyambi's hamstring just to make it through till January. This is a non-conversation. So it is just a little...
pray for Nyambi.
That's it. So let's hope he's in the cryo chamber or whatever he's doing, or Recoverite are putting all of their eggs into the Nyambi basket. That's what we need to do. So the team news will land in about 5 minutes. So when that does land, we will run it on the ticker along the bottom. So we're just going to talk about everyone's predicted sides now, or who they would play, as we usually do. So Alex, you're up first. Your predicted side today. Do you want to just talk us through one player from your side?
I think my team's obviously easy. I think you can probably all see that mine's unchanged from Tuesday night. I'm a big believer in consistency, and I think trying to get a consistent run together, you need to be picking consistent 11s, in my opinion. So that's why I've gone with the same team as Tuesday. One player I would mention that I think hasn't been mentioned that much. I think Tribal probably had his best game for Rovers on Tuesday. I think he did get a bit of criticism last Saturday at Luton, and rightly so. I didn't think he played very well at all, to be honest with you. But I think the reason for that was that he was playing in a role that he shouldn't have been playing in. He was being asked to do something that he can't do. So when he turned to that more defensive role at Preston, I thought he had his best game, just quietly going about his business. It was unfortunate that he got yellow carded and then had to be taken off to stop these championship refs levelling things up. But certainly, I would go with the same team. And I obviously don't want to rabbit on too long because 2 o'clock's nearing and we want to discuss the real team. But so I'll hand over to someone else to tell me how stupid I am.
No worries. Well, Luke, we've got your side next. And I'll invite you to talk about either. I think you've got Bradley Johnson in your side when it does flick onto it. Yeah, Bradley Johnson. You've also stuck with Sam Gallagher as well. So talk us about either Bradley Johnson or Sam Gallagher over either Dolan or Elliott.
Emphasis on consistency again. So I'll stick with Gallagher because I know there's another team with Johnson at least. So consistency. Again, just touch on the back four. I think it's good to keep the same back four. Consistency there as well. Reliability, you know what you're going to get. I hate it when, any manager, any team tinkers with back fours. So I'm liking that we've got a slight bit of consistency there. Yeah, Gallagher, I think it's a good opportunity for Gallagher to get another game, especially with Elliott getting that little injury. So I think it's an obvious one just to give him another few days rest, maybe come off the bench and get into it. Dolan, I think, will be unlucky to miss out because he was good when he came on, but it gives us that impact off the bench. He's a good prospect, and I think the way that Andy said last night and put on mention how good Andy was last night. So I'm hoping we batter him. Just saw red all over. It's such a good stream afterwards. I think that'll be comedy gold. That so. Anyway, yeah. So Dolan, I think he'd be unlucky not to start, but Gallagher, he had such a great game and consistency. I think he deserves it. So let's hope that he can kick on. I don't remember on recent memory Gallagher having 2 games that we can really scream home about in a row. So hopefully this is that opportunity and gives us that option, doesn't it? That's the main thing.
Yeah. I think it's my side next. I actually went for Stuart Downing in this game. So like you guys, same defence, and I've gone with the same front three. I think let's just rest Elliott ready for that tough Millwall game on Tuesday night, where we do need Elliott to have an impact. And Gallagher did well. You know, he's played well in the last 3 games, so he deserves a start again. I went for Downing just for 2 reasons. A bit of rest for Tribal with the games coming thick and fast. And I think this is a game for Stuart Downing with the way that Barnsley play, and just Downing in that quarterback position, just dictating the flow, you know, knocking it about, maybe doing that a bit quicker than what Tribal was doing on Tuesday night, for example. Whether I think Downing's going to play is another interesting question. He'll probably go for Bradley Johnson over Downing. But for me, I would have liked to have seen Downing just picking it around and allowing Holtby and Rothwell to drive forward. So that's why I went for Stuart Downing there. So, Jacob, we're over to your side. So you have gone for the side that I do think it's going to be. So is there anyone in there that you want to pick out or discuss?
Yeah, I've gone for Bradley Johnson. I feel like he can do just as good a job defensively as someone like a Tribal can do, but also has the impotence to get a move going. Like times we saw against Luton, Tribal can just slow the game down too much for me and be a bit lackadaisical when we obviously benefit on getting on the counter attack. And Johnson just gets us going at times. Obviously, I think that a lot of that will be down to where he used to play in his past, but also as well, he obviously offers us a bit of a goal threat as well, which is something Tribal doesn't, from what we've saw so far anyway. I mean, obviously he's got Player of the Month in September and got us a few goals this season in that month as well. So I think he just offers more to his game than someone like a Tribal does do. But Tribal's not a bad backup to have by any means. But I think Johnson should get back in today, and I'd love to see this midfield again, because this has been our best midfield this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's got a lot of balance at midfield. You know, you've got Johnson that will come and sit alongside Wharton and Lenihan and get that ball. And then you've got Holtby as that one that will do a bit of both. And then hopefully Rothwell driving forward from those deep areas. It does look like it's got a nice balance. So we're just waiting for the team news to land. It has landed. So we'll run it along the ticker in a moment. Kaminsky, Nyambi, Lenihan, Wharton, Douglas, Tribal, Rothwell, Holtby, Elliott, Brereton, Armstrong. So Harvey Elliott is back in place of Sam Gallagher. So Alex, I'm going to come to you first for the reaction to that team news. Are you surprised to see Elliott back in?
I am actually, yeah. I think Marlborough's always tried to fit Gallagher in when he could, and I think the big surprise for me looking at that team is I actually don't think Gallagher's been too bad at least when he came on against Luton, he got the goal, and he did cause them a few issues actually, and probably had a chance to score the winner. And then obviously I thought, he won the penalty and the red card on Tuesday, and I just thought that with the fact that Marlborough has spent a lot of money on Gallagher, let's not get away from that. He does have a duty to try and not lose value to the asset that he's bought. That I thought that he would play him today. I'm actually quite shocked that he hasn't, if I'm being honest with you. Although, as we all know, Harvey Elliott is a more than adequate replacement. And if I was being completely honest with you, if I was just being totally brutal with my team selection prior to the game, I probably would have picked Elliott over Gallagher. I do prefer him to Gallagher, but I just thought it would have been slightly on the harsh side to drop him after the last couple of games.
Luke, do you think that if Elliott hadn't got that knock against Preston, that we probably all would have put Elliott into our sides, like what Alex says? As much as it would have been harsh on Gallagher, I think the thing I've noticed is there is clearly that agreement with Liverpool that Elliott's going to start and get a lot of minutes whilst he's at us, despite how well Gallagher's been playing. So do you think it's the knock on Tuesday night that has maybe clouded our judgment a little bit, and this is probably the one that makes sense? Yeah,
I think we're trying to second guess Mowbray, and exactly what Alex said. There's an opportunity there to play him with the knock to Elliott, and you're just assuming that he would do that. I picked Johnson, so if we're being fair to, people that have had a good game. Tribal's had a good game as well. So I think it is probably the injury to Elliott that's clouded a lot of our judgments, really, because, Tribal deserves to be in there on merit. So the Elliott thing, I think him being dropped midweek is going to have done him the world of good. The knock, maybe not so much, but if he's playing today, I don't think the knock's that much of an issue, that much of a concern. So I think we're going to get a really rejuvenated Elliott, because I think we said it on the last stream pre-Preston game. He was looking a little bit sort of tired in the other games. He'd had the international input as well. He'd been away with the 19s, and I think it's a lot for a young lad that's not played a lot of senior football. So hopefully he comes back, refreshed, rejuvenated, and raring to go on. And Barnsley are the scapegoats for that today.
Yeah. And Jacob, we've spoken today about how the game's going to be against Barnsley. They're a footballing side. They're going to press us. Actually, do we need Bradley Johnson and Gallagher today and that physicality? Elliott and Tribal bring us more of that ball playing, that nimble play. So can you see some sense in why Mowbray stuck to the same side, particularly after that Preston game as well?
I can understand why he stuck with Tribal, but from what you've said, from what the Barnsley fan was saying, it looks like we're going to be doing a bit of counter-attacking today if they are going to bring the game to us. So I would have preferred to have Johnson there to get the moves going quicker and, have a bit more drive there in that holding position. And in regards to Gallagher, I did think Elliott would have been fit for today, because I know after the game it was said it was just a bruise, the injury, and it wasn't anything big. But I do think he did deserve a start. But I think Gallagher just loves the game against Preston at this point, though. But as I've said many a time, he isn't a winger. He shouldn't be playing there. But I thought it is harsh to drop him, because he'd scored a goal against Luton and then obviously won us the penalty that basically started the downfall of Preston. So, but no, I am happy to see Elliott there. Do think it's a little bit harsh on Gallagher, but if Gallagher comes on today and gets played in striker, then I don't think he'll be complaining at all.
Looking at the comments as well, I think as a fan base, we have completed the life cycle of the ups and downs of Sam Gallagher, given some of the reactions. So Michael Pearson, feel for Gallagher. Hunter's Army, didn't expect to see Elliott. Galley harshly dropped. And if I had to replace Galley, would have been Dolan. Stand and stare. Elliott could give us the energy we need ahead of Gallagher. He's better as an impact sub later on. Dan Woods would have preferred to see Dolan today. Michael Pearson, comments coming in. Michael Pearson, hope Gallagher's fragile confidence isn't affected. Can't see the harm in starting him today. I'm not reading that final part.
I'll upset Andy, that.
It will, yeah. Stand and stare. I hope Dolan gets another sub showing later on. He's working well at the moment. Liam Scott saving Johnson and Galley for Millwall, match them with the physicality. I think, yeah, that's where I am, Liam. I fully expect those two to start against Millwall, I think, unless it is this agreement with Liverpool about Elliott. That's the only doubt, but Gallagher seems to make sense for Millwall. And any other comments? Stand and stare. Barnsley going on the front foot gives us that break option, which Brereton could well exploit. Just for Rovers fans who haven't seen the subs, it's Pears, Carter, Bell, Johnson, Buckley, Downing, Chapman, Dolan and Gallagher. Alex, as we start to get people back from injury, the bench is looking more and more stronger, isn't it? And we've got some good options there in Johnson, Buckley, Downing, Dolan, Gallagher, Bell, people that can come on and change the game however we need it, haven't we?
Absolutely. I think the big thing that we haven't seen this season is a lot of players being upset about not even getting in the 18. Or I don't know if the squad sizes have changed due to the number of subs, but that's another thing altogether. We can talk about that another time. But I think you get my point, is that it will get to the stage where players are not even getting in the squad, and I don't know how Mowbray manages that. I don't know who gets left out of the squad when everyone's fit. I think the cold reality, as I've said before, is that it'll be unlikely that everyone will be fit at the same time. I think the team will end up picking itself over the course of the season, really, with just the number of players that we'll have out. knocks and niggles and bad injuries. So, yeah, I do understand why there's a question there around the strong squad, but I think it will be tested to the limit over the next, I would say, 2 months in particular. Just with, as we've talked about so many times, the sheer number of games we're playing. I think we'll play, is it 10 games before January now? Something ridiculous like that. So there's going to be people breaking down all over the place, and we're going to need to use this whole squad. So yeah, I don't really have any concerns in the short term. It's more longer term, I think, when we get to the latter end of the season, where Mowbray will have to be disappointing certain people, I think.
Yeah. A comment here from Lachlan Kearney, Davenport injured. Yeah, I just checked on Twitter there whilst Alex was talking, Lachlan, and Davenport appears to just be out. So it's unspecified at this moment, whether it's an injury, whether it's COVID. I'm not sure. But yeah, no Jacob Davenport today. Looking at the bench, though, I'm wondering if he would have got onto the bench, because you got Buckley and Downing, Dolan, Gallagher, Chapman. I don't know. Maybe that's the start of this, squad depth that Alex has just been talking about, and disappointing some people there. So Luke, just looking at that side then, we did the on the other side with Andy last night, and how we're expecting the game to go, with them pressing, with them trying to break on us, and Rovers hopefully playing their own game with the possession as well, and the breaking, and how effective we can be in attack. That side today, is that giving you confidence that we can just go and replicate the Preston performance or the Wickham performance, things like that? Are you happy with that side?
I think what Andy was describing to us last night is like you said, a Wickham or a Preston. It's very similar, isn't it? And it works against both those teams. I think a lot of teams seem to be playing this expansive, exciting, attacking football now. I know we've got, the teams in the Championship that are very frustrating to play against, your Boroughs, your Cardiff, your Millwalls. But I think we've absolutely got enough today to get this one over the line. I think it's worth mentioning as well, Carter on the bench, so maybe that's who he sees as the right back replacement, perhaps. But then again, we haven't got. Looking at that, we haven't got any centre halves on there. So unless he just he's just assuming that we can use him at centre half, and maybe he does fill in at right back. Who knows? That's me trying to jinx it again for Niambe, so I'm sorry. Let's move on.
And the Barnsley side, for people that haven't seen it, Jack Walton, Callum Britton, Michael Solbauer, Michael Hellick, Mads Anderson, Callum Stiles, who Andy spoke about yesterday.
Yeah, about him.
Yeah, raving about him in that. Was it left wing back, Luke? I think he said he was.
Yeah,
Callum Stiles,
I think so, yeah.
Herbie Kane, who he was also talking about yesterday. Alex Mauer, Connor Chaplin, Luke Thomas, Corley Woodrow is the Barnsley side. So I think Herbie Kane's come in for Matty James for them, hasn't he? So, yeah, they look a settled side as well. Rovers fans, we're going to end the stream in about 5 or so minutes. So if there is any other questions that you've either already asked and I've failed to pick up, my apologies. Ask it again. We can answer it. Or if there's anything else about the game that you want us to pick up, get your comments in before we finish the stream in about 5 minutes. Jacob, the side today, the options we've got from the bench. You said that we should be smashing Barnsley. Are you still feeling confident?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at the games since Kaminski's come back into the side, we've only conceded 2 goals, I think it is. One of them being a very unlucky goal against Luton, where the player slips and then it just turns into a superb cross for a tap-in. And the other goal was against QPR, where it was a penalty. Where, in my opinion, I don't think it should have been a penalty, to be honest. So, considering it's Barnsley, I'm not particularly worried about their attacking threats. So, hopefully another clean sheet today, an unchanged back four that was very solid the other night, and I am liking the Wharton and Lenihan partnership, and that midfield is a balanced midfield as well. So I do think we should be fine in that department, just like we were against Preston. A balanced midfield means we'll be solid defensively, as well as Tribal will allow Holtby and Rothwell that attacking freedom. And then that front three is obviously shown this season how good it can be. So, no, I'm really looking forward today, and I am thinking maybe a 2 or 3 now, to be honest.
Great. Well, Rovers fans, will end with all of your predictions as usual. So hit us with the comments. How do you think the score's going to go today? Now you've heard from Andy yesterday on the other side. You've heard us talk about it and you've seen the team. What are your predictions for today? Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to address the comments that have been coming in about me needing a big flag for the garage. Lee B, 1989. The Boat Project, and Luke multitasking whilst you're on this stream. Well done, mate. I'm impressed that you're able to also put your own comment in.
It seemed like it was a big issue, so I'm getting involved. I think it's a good one that I'm getting. Yeah,
I do actually have a flag, and I've never thought about putting the flag up, so maybe I'll get it up for later. It could just go behind me. It's actually one I got from the Doncaster game. So when me and my little lad were there, and it was all going mental. So some bloke just gave it to my son and said, "Here you go, you can remember that flag forever." So whoever gave my son that flag, what a hero he was. So that could be the one that I put up. So if you did give my son that flag and you're watching, you might recognise your flag on the stream. So there we go. Right, so before I come to you three for your predictions, let's just get some of the predictions here. Dan has gone bold. Happy with the team. Rovers to win 5-0. So Rovers Chat are predicting a 5-0 win. Lachlan Kearney, 1-0 Armour penalty. Michael Pearson, 2-0 Rovers. Dan Woods, 2-0 Rovers. Hunter's Army, 2-0 Rovers. Stand and Stare, 3-1 Rovers. Sadly, I think we're not keeping our clean sheet. I've gone 3-1 as well, actually, Stand and Stare. I think we're going to concede as well. Alexander Haben, 2-0 Rovers. And I'm just going to scroll up and make sure that no one else. Oh, Tom Schofield, 3-0 Rovers. Dizzy Thumbs, 2-1 Rovers. So we are all feeling fairly confident, and I think we are all forgetting that this is Blackburn Rovers. So that is really interesting. Warren, the Boat Project, 2-0 Rovers. Warren Selby, 2-1 win. Oh, what's this? And this rumour I've been hearing, Liverpool would only let Elliott come if he started 90% of games if was fit. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Warren. Harry Walsh, 3-0. Lee B, 7-2 win. Liam Scott, 3-1 Rovers. So, yeah, I think to a person, people are expecting a Rovers victory today. So I'll give the final airtime to you three. Alex, what is your prediction for today's game?
It's not December yet, but I think I might be called a Scrooge, probably. There's just something nagging in my mind about this game. I'm not sure. We really limped past them last season. I just think they're not a team we particularly do well against. We got beat in Project Restart, whatever you want to call it, 2-0. Oh, God. On the Rovers Chat Predictions League, I went 2 apiece, and I know everyone's going to basically make fun of me for that. But all I would say is that if we get beat or we draw today, I want all of these people on here who predicted 7-2 and 5-0 to come on and phone in and justify why they went for 5-0 or 7-2, because I've been scarred too many times by this club. That's all I'll say. I've been scarred too many times. I think let me boil it down. If we play well today and they come out and attack us, and we don't make any careless mistakes, we should win. I'm just more thinking about the fact that this is Rovers and we never do win when we should win. So I've gone with a 2-2 draw, and I hope I'm wrong.
If we smash them, then Alex, are you going to justify on the post-match why you went for 2-2?
There'll be no one happier than me if we smash them. No one happier than me. Yeah.
Michael Pearson's saying you need a good night out, Alex. So
I do, yeah.
There you go.
And, actually, believe it or not, I am in Cornwall, so I am in Tier 1 when the next lockdown gets lifted. So there you go.
And Dan Woods, you are putting yourself in Hall of Fame potentially. I will tattoo Lee B 1989 on me if it's 7-2. Are you going to stick with that, Dan? You know, let's have some confirmation that you'll do that if that's the score. Oh, brilliant. Luke, what is your prediction for today?
Right, let me just start off by saying everyone in the chat, all fire pelters at Alex now.
They already have. They've already.
You're getting an hammering.
I am, yeah.
No, in Alex's defence, it could well be a banana skin. I've gone 4-0, and I'm sticking with 4-0. I think Oymer's going to get himself an hat-trick today against a club that he's already played for, and he's well liked there. So go ahead and do what you need to do, Oymer. I think Brereton might chip in today as well. But I can absolutely see where people are coming in with their predictions. Like I say, we have conceded 2 against Barnsley in each of the last 6 games. So that justifies why Lee B's got a 2 in his 7-2 prediction. Yeah, let's just see. But I think it's a game that if we get it right, again like Preston, get the tempo right, set a high tempo and just attack them. Most people you speak to say that they're not really a defensive side and they don't cope with attacking teams. So it makes for us free-scoring Blackburn Rovers to go and get a good result today. So we'll see. And Lee B is water, it's not vodka. Like I say, we condone a corporation pop here at Rovers Chat. So.
Dan Woods is confirming that we have his word that tattoo will go on him if it's 7-2. So there we go. So Luke, we'll see if you can carry on your hot streak with predictions then. So that was 4-0 Armstrong hat-trick.
4-0.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Lee B sneaking in the Hall of Fame when we smash him 7-2.
Brilliant. Jacob, what's your prediction?
Oh, we all know you're the only one who drinks vodka out your mug, don't we, Alex? But no, I'm on the same wavelength as Luke. I'm confident for today. The defence, the keeper, the midfield, the front three all looks brilliant. I'm more than happy with it. And as the Boat Project said before, I know my stuff apparently when I was talking before. So no, I'm going for 3-0. Like I said, I'm really confident in that back four, and I do think the only 2 goals Kaminski's conceded have been a bit unlucky. So hoping a clean sheet, and I'm hoping Adam Armstrong can be a bit more lively today because he has looked a bit quiet the last couple of games. But yeah.
Great. And just to complete the set, I'm going 3-1 Rovers. I think it looks a good side. I think it's slightly different circumstances to when we played them at home last year, where Mowbray was under that little bit of pressure. So I am expecting us to get the job done. We're in form. We're feeling confident. And Barnsley are a side that I think aren't going to be able to cope with our attacking play or feel comfortable sitting back. So expecting us to get the job done. But I'm not saying it's going to be easy by any stretch. You know, this is Rovers, which, Alex, I can understand why you're feeling that pessimism. But yeah, 3-1 Rovers, I am saying. So that is it. I will finish with Alexander Haven, 6-0 to Rovers. We'll finish with some nice positivity there. Oh, Daniel Seawood has also said 6-0. A pair of 6-0 predictions to finish the stream with. If you are not following us on Twitter, Rovers_chat, please do give us a follow, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rovers Chat, to stay up to date with all of our content. We will be live post-match. I can't remember what time it is. Do one of you 3 know? 5:15, is it?
I think so. I'd just like to say, I'd hate to be a Barnsley fan watching this because we're absolutely, hammering them here, like 6-0, 7-2. Like that post-match is going to be interesting if we do get a slip up here.
Oh, God.
That's it.
And
so what do we do? What do we do if it's 2 apiece?
All of Fame.
Yeah. Hall of Fame for you, Alex. But do you want to be in the Hall of Fame for those? Yeah, that's it.
It depends which way 2-2 happens. If we're 2-0 up and we concede in the 90th minute, yeah, I probably won't show my face.
So we'll confirm if it's 5:15 on the Rovers Chat Twitter site. I think it's 5:15 that we're on the post-match stream. Please do join us after the game. We had a blast on Tuesday night after the Preston game, so we do appreciate all of you joining us and for all of your support and your comments. So yeah, hit the subscribe button, and then you'll get that notification when we do go live a little bit later on. And a reminder as well, 6yardsout.com have got the Black Friday deal. Buy 2 mugs, get a 3rd free. We will close the show with the usual advert from them. But yeah, go and check them out. Get your Black Friday deal. Get your Christmas presents sorted. I will just finish, Luke, because I know you're in my boat. Christmas tree is going up in your house today, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the wife's actually watching the stream upstairs, and she's getting giddy for putting the Christmas tree up. She'll hate me for saying that, but
Well,
it's going up. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in the Kimberley household.
Yeah, well, my missus is putting ours up as we speak in the house with the kids, so I think I'm going to go in and it'll be all festive, so that's going to be quite nice. Jacob, where are you? Where are you with the Christmas tree? Is it up or is it down?
Well, I'm currently in Liverpool in a student house, so we're not being very festive, to be honest with you. But I'm sure when I get home to Darwin for Christmas, it'll all be up and be feeling very festive by that point. Yeah.
And Alex, where's yours?
I'm similar. I'm in student accommodation in Cornwall at the minute. So when I get home in 2 weeks, I think my mum will be waiting to strangle me with the Christmas lights. I think is probably the right word. There isn't
two predictions.
There isn't a Christmas where either one of us doesn't get electrocuted or strangled on the Christmas lights. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That's interesting.
Well, if any representatives from the Ward or the Lomax families can confirm whether your Christmas trees are up, we would like that. But it's 2 out of 4 for the panel of Christmas trees up. We will see you later on for our post-match stream. And yes, we will finish now with the advert from our sponsors, 6yardsout.com. See you later.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.